Nothing was quite as enthralling or terrifying as watching people being carried out on stretchers from your own speech. It did feel very totalitarian, and I felt very powerful. But everyone was also asleep.
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host, Chris Broad. We're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Dawson. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on?
Well, loads of stuff, actually. We're actually very busy here at Stack.
With the people of Britain.
The people of Britain, I can't speak for them. They're maniacs, the lot of them. They keep making bad decisions. But, Stack are moving studios at the moment, and I have been tasked with taking down the previous studio. We had basically this office little complex thing, and we had like a studio within it, just basically a big wooden box that we sat in and did our shows from, and they were recorded and all that good stuff. And I've been tasked with actually taking it all down. Now, I said in a fit of pique and a fit of hubris, I said that I would be able to take down the studio in, and I quote, 2 hours. It took me 5 hours to get halfway there yesterday. So I didn't have a crowbar, I didn't have a ladder. I then got a crowbar and a ladder, and it was all plain sailing from there. But my hands are cut and calloused. My hands are covered. My lungs are filled with sound deadening insulation, and I am feeling like a bigger boy. There's no two ways about that. But, God, it's hard work, manual labour, innit? It's a proper job, innit? There's proper stuff to do. Oh.
I can picture you, I love the idea of you with a crowbar, like Morgan Freeman from Half-Life, going around knocking things over.
Gordon Freeman. Have some respect for the good people of Stick.
I said Gordon, didn't I?
I thought you said Morgan Freeman.
Oh, shit. The first time I definitely said Gordon. It was always going to happen. But to be fair, Morgan Freeman probably has a crowbar
Gordon.
as well. He loves a good he loves a good crowbar.
He does.
Oh, nice one, man.
Yeah, I was reminded of when the first Half-Life, when Half-Life 2 came out. It was the first video game, I think, ever to require a internet connection to start it, basically. And it was quite a big thing at the time. Steam's kind of first big move was to make people, I don't know what you'd call it, clarify it, I don't know, check summit, I don't know. Either way, you needed an internet connection to start it. And I remember I was working in a government agency at the time, in a housing agency, and good God, I got away with nonsense there. I, at one point, had brought my hard drive in from home, my Windows-based hard drive. I had the back off my computer at work, because it was the only place with the internet connection, and I had my hard drive in there, trying to get the internet so that I could confirm that I could play Half-Life 2. And this took me like a day, and I just had a day of doing nothing. What a waste of everyone's tax dollars, sorry.
God damn it! I remember the days of Half-Life 2. It's one of my favourite games of all time. They had the orange box where they had like Half-Life 2, Episode 1, Episode 2, all combined. It was like the greatest deal in Xbox history. Those were the days. Connor always laments that I never play video games. I played all the games up until like 2012.
Back in the day,
right. I played them all. He's not played Half-Life 2. Just the other day I was having a go at him. I was like, you got to play Half-Life 2, man. What's wrong with it? Play it. He just played Bioshock and he had a whale of a time.
So the original Bioshock or Bioshock, the original one. Wow, okay, interesting.
The good one, the OG. In between lamenting Connor and arguing with him about video games, I run between buildings to avoid getting heat stroke. It's so bad here. It's a joke. Luckily, I've got the K car at the moment, so I've been able to drive around Tokyo, which isn't much more fun.
Is there a congestion charge in Tokyo?
There is no congestion charge, but if you want to use toll roads, it can get very expensive very quickly, which is basically the same as congestion charges. But yeah, I wouldn't advise driving in Tokyo. I really would. It takes like 1 hour to get out the city.
Get anywhere. Right. Okay.
And in the same time on a bullet train, you could be halfway to Sendai, or literally in Sendai. So I don't recommend it.
Are there any passenger? Here's another question for you. Because I am Japan's biggest enthusiast, etc. Are there any sort of cargo trains where you put your car on the old train, like the Channel Tunnel, which nobody calls it anymore, the old Eurostar? You can get on wherever you get on in London, and you get on with your car, and then it basically drives you go on the train with your car, and then the train goes over to France, and then your car's in France where the naked ladies dance.
I think the only way you could do it is if you drove your Toyota Century off a bridge and timed it so you landed on the train. That's the only situation I could think of where you could get away with that.
I see.
I don't. You might be able to do it down the Seikan Tunnel between Aomori and Hokkaido. Maybe.
Right. Okay.
Not so sure.
Right.
I know there's a bullet train. I don't think you can though. I think you have to ferry. Ferry.
Slow.
Give me a tunnel any day. Tell us where it's at. But we got a story this week from the one and only Jianye from... I can't pronounce that.
Let's have a look here.
Jan.
Jianye. Gotta be, innit?
Netherlands. Always the hardest names, the folks from the Netherlands. But they're lovely. And Charlotte's is like half Dutch herself. So that's maybe why she's got a weird name.
Is Janje technically... It doesn't sound particularly Netherlandsy, does it? Janje?
No, it doesn't. But anyway, hello, Chris and Pete. I've currently completed week 1 of 5 on a holiday in Japan. Nice one. I started in Tokyo. I'm now in Kyoto. I love the food and sights, but not so much the heat. You and me both, man. From my name, you'll guess I'm Asian. But given I dress tank tops, sunglasses and shorts, the Japanese would probably know I'm not one of them. It's the other day. I mean, that's a fair point. Yeah, the sunglasses. People just don't wear sunglasses in Japan unless they're like Yakuza. I was at like a fish market in Kochi the other day, and the most Yakuza man ever was just sitting behind me, like drinking a highball with sunglasses on at like 10 p.m. in a fish market. I love it.
This is where I drink, at the fish market.
The other day, I had a long day walking from Ryonji to get a tram to Adashino Nembutsuji to visit the tiny bamboo forest. Sorry, I massacred the pronunciation there. I was walking down the road with my sweat-soaked shirt, my bag hanging out in front, sunglasses up, UV umbrellas down. Now the sun was scorching hot and the shade was on the right side of the road. So I walked in the middle of the pavement, albeit a tad to the right. Coming towards me, though, was this Japanese guy and his girlfriend. As we got closer to one another, I realised his girlfriend was staying her course, but the dude was strafing into my path, and we were on course for a collision. Now, it took me a second to register this, but as our eyes met, I realised he was doing this on purpose. Instead of moving away, I steadied myself for a confrontation. Oh, my God. Feeling committed to my path, and certain I could withstand any collision. My stature was more substantial than his. I did not deviate. Oh, alpha male. Right at the last instant, though, he corrected straight, with only our hands and shoulders brushing against one another, rather than a full body blow. I heard his girlfriend mumble, "Chotto, chotto," but I decided not to look back. I walked on to see the forest and got stung by mosquitoes, but because I decided causing a scene wouldn't be worth it. Afterwards, I wondered whether I was being an arsehole, or is this hatred towards tourists a phenomenon from recent bad behaviour, or was I breaking some unspoken rule? Have you experienced something like this? What would you guys do in my position? Have a wonderful day. Stay hydrated. Janje from the Netherlands. And again, apologies, man, if I got your name badly wrong, but there you go.
Wow.
I mean, look, I've had stuff like that. I've had a guy in Shinjuku who like bashed his umbrella into mine, even though it's quite hard when you're walking through Shinjuku, the busiest place on earth with an umbrella in rainy season, because you do have to sort of wave it around like a lightsaber to avoid colliding with someone. And I did sort of hit someone's umbrella, and he went a bit mental. And I was like, mate, it wasn't a calculated umbrella attack. It was an honest mistake. And he was like, what are you doing? So it could have been just, cranky from the heat. Maybe he wanted to look tough in front of his girlfriend. Who knows? Or maybe it was just anger towards tourists in Kyoto.
Bad boys. What you gonna do? It's such a pathetic thing to do, isn't it? Like, we're seeing these attacks a lot more recently, or we're certainly hearing about them, aren't they? The tough guys on the streets giving you a little bump with the plausible deniability that it was just an accident. It's really pathetic behaviour, but I'm a bit pumped for one. I kind of want one right now, Chris. I want a bump.
Well, you're in the right fucking country. I swear in the UK, people, it's always whoever's tallest wins the fight, correct. Basically. Yeah. Or the bulkiest.
That's any fight. That is any fight.
You're walking down the street and whoever's tallest or bigger will always stay the course. And you have to
I will never know the joy of thinking I can take anyone. I will never know it. And to be honest, even if you're good at fighting, there is no substitute for being bigger than the other person. There just isn't. Like, it's just. There was a famous clip that was going around about a man who was being a bit of a dick on a golf course. You might have seen it. And he happened to pick a fight with some kind of tough guy from a hockey organisation who was quite good at doing ice hockey, pushing and punching. A real tough guy himself. And he was basically said, I'm going to throw you in the river to the man. But because the man was smaller than him, like the fight was just him getting thrown in the river, because there is no substitute for being bigger. There just isn't. And people who have martial arts training will go, well, no, actually, you can use their height to... No, you're going in the river, mate. You're going in the river.
Going in the river.
I'm going in the river, Chris.
When you said a dickhead at a golf course, I thought you were referring to Trump, because that video that came out the other day where he's one of his men, like, drops the golf ball right next to the hole. Have you seen that? It's brilliant.
So it was showing that he was once again
he rocks
on the
up on the golf cart, and his associate gets off before him, like drops the ball in the right convenient spot, and he sort of just walks up to it and puts it in.
It's good that we finally got that on camera, because we didn't have we never had that before. So good,
I wish I had people like that around me who just made things look good. just enabled me.
You do. You got editors.
Yeah, that's true.
You got editors. Banya spends ages on the artwork for this show on YouTube.
Very true. But we got a fun one this week. Everyone's been talking about it. It's a fun one, and I think because I know you're Mr. Left Wing, happy, let's be friends, man. I think you should pretend for this entire segment to enjoy the far right and be a far right individual.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Your
comment, I'm fucking in the middle.
Your YouTube commenters would like that, wouldn't they? They'd like that.
I shook hands with David Cameron and Keir Starmer. I'm in the middle. I'd have no leading anywhere really. I'm in the middle. But far right time. With Pete Donaldson.
How convenient in the age of fascism. Yes, a party has sprung onto the political stage under the slogan "Japanese First," winning 14 seats unexpectedly this month, or last month rather. Their success reflects widespread economic dissatisfaction and distrust of mainstream politics, especially among younger people. Sanseto is its name, and it may be small for now, but their rise could mark a turning point in Japanese democracy and discourse. It roughly translates as Political Participation Party, the PPP, pulled off a political upset in the upper house election. They went from just holding one seat to winning a total of 15 seats in the 248-member chamber. A massive leap for a party barely 5 years old. I think in any other situation you'd probably sort of go, I mean, it's only 5 seats, and, you know, in the age of populism, that's kind of going to happen. But
it's still quite small.
When Japan go right wing, the world does take notice, let's just say. But it was founded, this party, in 2020 by a person called Sohei Kamiya, who previously managed a supermarket and taught English. And it started as a YouTube-based political project during the pandemic. But they've built their audience very online, very YouTubey, and now they've rebranded under a popular slogan, Japanese First. Their message frames globalization and immigration as threats to Japanese identity and well-being. So probably ignoring the whole loss of population at the same time. But yeah, they're I mean, it's kind of what, you know, Donald Trump ran on, what pretty much every party in the Western world ran on. Rampant inflation, food price increases, stagnant wages, and a weakening yen. And they are pointing their fingers purely at the immigrants, as a lot of them do.
Yeah, I asked Ryota about this because I saw him recently, and I was like, what do you think they become so popular? And he said he thought one of the reasons they become popular is because they're appealing to women. They want to have lots of policies that help women.
Right.
And a lot of their councillors, a lot of the candidates, I think 24, were women, I believe. Yeah, 24 female candidates, which is quite high. Certainly compared to the LDP, the party in power. So that's one factor. There's a lot of benefits they're trying to get for women, which is one thing. But yeah, they've also sort of pointed out foreigners doing bad things, or foreigners equals bad, even though the foreign population in Japan is something between 2 to 3%. It's a bit different to the UK with the far right, where I guess there's a lot bigger immigrant sort of target base to go after compared to Japan. But they promised things like tax cuts, child benefit payments, welfare expansion. But at the end of the day, I think it's problem just the LDP, the incumbent government. It's sort of been there for 70 years, basically unchallenged. I think they only lost power for like 5 years,
Yeah, the whole system's kind of built for the LDP to rule. There's no other kind of alternative. Other parties find it very hard to, even if they gain power, they find it very hard to kind of retain it. They find it very hard to, be able to pull those levers because the whole system is built towards one party. No alarms, no surprises. Let's just keep our heads down. But like anywhere else in the world, your anti-elitist, your anti-status quo parties are getting in there. But I mean,
the smartest thing they did was to really go all out on YouTube, right? And target younger people, because younger people very disconnected with politics in Japan generally, and they don't see a lot of great things coming their way from the LDP. Yep. And then you've suddenly got this party who's like, we're going to sort things out. It's immigrants. It's a silent invasion of foreigners. We need to have more limits on what they can do. They're part of the problem. It's a strange thing, but
it's a very old school play, isn't it?
It's an old school playbook, yeah, but it's a smart way of doing it, yeah, using social media. If I was going to set up a political party today, I would use YouTube basically to do it. And target younger people, build a community. That you can...
There's your future,
There's my future,
little Chris cult, Chris cult, off grid somewhere. Yes, everyone has to sleep with Chris. Drink the Kool-Aid.
It's a wider problem, though, isn't it? I mean, in the West, most economies seem to be doing a bit rubbish, and it's times like that new parties can pop up and start to take control of situations or promise to fix things in a way that probably won't really happen.
A lot of these parties find it, again, everywhere in the world, a lot of these parties find it very hard to rule because they've never ruled. They're not part of a ruling class per se. So that whatever promises they may make, it's quite hard to sort of see them actually complete them. So,
it's in like the UK, right, with the reform guy who got elected, and then after a few weeks he was like, actually, I don't want to do it now, bye. And handed the job over to like an 18-year-old who's suddenly in charge of a big British town.
Well, a lot of these sort of organisations are like, it's power for power's sake, and then they get power and they just continue their grift effectively, don't they? And sort of just make the money that they need to. But maybe this party will be different. Yeah, I don't know what a Japanese kind of anti-establishment party looks like, but looks like these guys, and they're on YouTube and they're looking at you.
Yeah, I mean, the guy in question who started it, he was pretty focused on conspiracy theories around COVID and sort of secret global elite. I love the classic. I remember
say it what it is. It's the Jews, Chris. It's always the Jews. They're always having a go at the Jews.
I remember I had my friend's dad was a sort of conspiracy theorist about this secretive global elite, and like I don't think there is much of a secret, is there? It's just very rich people. They meet up and discuss things and
hang out,
prod things in certain directions and fun things. I don't see much of conspiracy theory. It's just all open. It's in full view a lot of the time. But I remember there was when I was at University of Kent, I got handed the best Student of the Year award for something, which is a surprise. It was like outstanding student because I ran a scheme at the university, and the guy who was the chancellor of the scheme was a guy called Robert Worcester, who set up Ipsos Mori, which is the biggest kind of polling company on the planet, and they're very influential, very powerful. And I remember people being like, "Oh my God, he's a member of the Bilderberg Group." And if you look up Bilderberg Group, it's a group of sort of few hundred very influential people. We're talking mainly bankers and people that run big tech companies, and they meet up once a year at a very nice estate somewhere in the British countryside or Portugal, and they discuss matters. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories around that. But again, I wonder, people sort of picture like an eyes wide shut kind of meeting in a mansion. I suppose it's just somebody holding a whiskey being like, yeah, we're going to raise interest rates, and then it's just sort of already boring and banky.
Yeah, that's pretty much,
But influential, make no mistake.
But from people in front of their computers watching YouTube videos about conspiracy theories, there's always there's, as I've said before, always a thick sort of core of anti-Semitism. That seems to be the thing that's always been there and always will be there, it seems. And they think that all these people are kind of pulling leaves and strings and stuff. Like the thing that gets me about conspiracy theories about some kind of world order and elites and all that nonsense. that people can't get stuff done anyway. Do you know what I mean? even the most intelligent minds can't affect that much change. We're all just sort of wheeling around, aren't we? We're all just in a car park having a fight. No one's connecting their punches. No one's getting anything done. It's just politics is just a course correction. When you vote for someone, you're just correcting the course ever so slightly. It's never a revolution. It's never anything new, because unless you're marching up to the Capitol with an army behind you, nothing really changes to that great degree, and it's sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, the problem with the West is we sort of just go from one to the other. These sort of with no long-term strategic vision. I think that's the main issue. If you look at China, and obviously there's lots of human rights terrible stuff going on in China, but one thing they have got going for them is they have one party who can at least execute a long-term vision. I don't think it's a good idea to have a totalitarian regime under any situation. But that's the one benefit of.
I think a lot of people are saying that, though. A lot of young men in particular in the West are basically saying, we need this. We need a king. We need someone.
Well, I'm ready to rise
and be a fascist, stuff like that. So
it's not. Clearly the system is broken in somewhere like the UK, where you have vast resources being spent on getting these stupid political parties at opposite ends of the spectrum battling it out, when really you need someone in the middle with a long-term vision for fucking 10, 25 years to fix things, right? Instead of stupid promises to win people over. And I look at democracy sometimes and I think there's so many flaws in it, and it's starting to really not work, because now you've got political parties who are just being bought out by the highest bidder, whoever they are. The wealthy can just sort of pay to meet these people, to meet the politicians, and steer them in certain directions, and they're sort of beholden to them, which is quite scary. So there's that going wrong.
It's just very difficult to become a politician, certainly in America, without having an obscene amount of money behind you. I mean, it's even like. I mean, that said, though, the mayoral race in New York, obviously Cuomo had a bit of trouble, and he's richer than God. So maybe things are changing, maybe they aren't, but it still takes a hell of a lot of money to be able to affect any kind of political campaign these days.
Indeed. But I mean, going back to the LDP, the reason they were incumbent for so long is, they had an entrenched position, obviously. They had friends in the media. The most powerful people in Japan. It was in everyone's interest that they stayed there. But also they got the job done in terms of economics, right? Japan's economy exploded, did so well from the 50s to the to the late 80s. And I think as long as the economy's doing well, people don't really seem to care much. Again, same as China, right? And now you see the economy's doing bad for 20 years in Japan, the UK, not so much America, although inequality is off the charts bad. But I think, disenfranchised people are going to just keep voting for more extreme solutions. And unfortunately, I'm not convinced in any of them. So it's really annoying. Yeah, the older I've gotten, the more I've sort of got interested in politics, the more sort of hopeless I've seen it to be. I think in the UK, for example, we don't really have a particularly exciting leader to gather around. I can't think of anyone who's in politics at the moment, really, who's sort of got the charisma and excitement to galvanise the nation.
Got the affability, eh? Who's
got affability,
who's got the affability?
That's got to be a thing, because a person at the top's got to take difficult, fucked up decisions. But if you like them, then you're like, okay, well, he's going to raise taxes, he's going to cut spending. I don't mind, he says it's this. But when they're not that popular, then it's going to be like, I hate them no matter what.
But even I think, I mentioned the New York mayoral race. The guy got in. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. It is early in the morning here in London, but he doesn't speak like a politician, and that's kind of what people need in these established parties. I was the biggest fan of the way that Keir Starmer kind of, massaged his way in and just let the Tories make their unforced mistakes and stuff. And he's got in, and he was always a bit of a robot, but he's got in and he's just making you've still got to you've got to be politically minded, and Keir Starmer just unfortunately isn't, I think, and he's sort of stepping on every rate going. And also he talks like a fucking robot, and he refuses to call out literal fucking genocide. So it's kind of it's a very difficult situation for a party that doesn't have any normal people in it. It's just people who talk normally about stuff.
In Japan, you've got Shigeru Ishiba, the current prime minister. And he's sort of viewed in a similar way. He had a moment where he ate an onigiri rice ball in like one go, and he sort of botched it, and he's like, "Oh!" Takes a big bite out of it.
Oh, it's Ed Miliband's bacon sandwich.
Yeah, we had the same thing in the UK with Ed Miliband, ate an egg sandwich or whatever it was, bacon sandwich. They had that with Ishiba, and there's running this footage of him trying to eat onigiri really badly, and stumbling over his words, and yeah. But so I'm not surprised this party's Sanseto is doing well. But let's also point out that it's still 15 seats out of 248 seats, and yes, they probably will continue to grow and probably get more seats the next election. But it's still pretty small in the grand scheme of things. They are the fourth biggest party. So the media's been whipping up a storm about it, but it's really not the big deal I think people think it is, maybe? Yeah. Not yet, anyway. Not yet. But it captures the disenfranchised nature of people, particularly 18 to 39, which is the sort of age bracket that voted the most for this party, which is also the same age of people who watch a lot of YouTube as well, right? So not so surprising. But we'll see how it goes. See what happens.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye.
Keep an eye out.
We'll keep it watching brief.
Keep watching and do nothing. The Abroad Japan podcast story. But we're back in a moment, guys, with your stories, comments, and questions. Over in the fax machine. One lone question in the fax machine.
One lone question.
I hope there's more than one. God.
Wow.
We're back with the fax machine. What do we got this week from our listeners? Fill us in.
A heady swig of your coffee there. This is from Rather Not Use My Real Name, thanks, from Sweden. Hello, Chris and Beats. I was recently on a 2-week trip to Japan. On the latter part of my trip, I stayed for a week in Kabukicho and noticed the amount of young ladies asking passers-by for attention come nighttime. Probably in their core demo, being a guy in my 30s, but I found it rather weird and did not take them up on their offers. I'm winking. He didn't wink. There was a core band not even a block away from the main action, but this is not policed at all. Love the podcast. Somebody from Sweden experiences red light district. Shock horror.
I mean, it's just a thing that happens, isn't it?
It's just a thing. It's the oldest profession in the world, as they say.
The industry in Japan is estimated to be worth about $5 billion. It's big business. I mean, there's one in Shibuya near bloody Lost Bar, one block over. You just see people going in,
go back and forth.
Special building, shall we say, just very casually, as if they're going into the coffee shop. But anyway, Love Hotel industry is worth $15 to $20 billion. Should have set up a Love Hotel instead of a bar.
Yep.
Clearly.
Lost Love Hotel.
Why, this is crazy. 1.4 million Japanese people visit a Love Hotel every day. Every single day, 1.4 million.
Hey, as we said, I mean, they must exist for a reason, I suppose. I mean, I'd like to say, I would like to see, wrong term, I would be interested to see how many people are actually using it for its an intended purpose versus just having a little rest.
Well, yeah, very good fun. They're pretty relaxing, to be honest. Have you been one? I don't know if you have you?
No, I've never, even like in my sleepiest sort of jet-lagged sort of afternoon, I've never popped in for a little snooze. I mean, and also for the other stuff, not really into that, and certainly not into me. So yes, all the other stuff is kind of off for me. But I would very much like to spend the thick edge of 50 quid to go into some kind of mad sort of jungle themed hotel room for a laugh.
Jungle theme.
I went to that
they're fun, man. They're fun.
In Fukuoka. I went to that dinosaur hotel. Does that count? There are dinosaurs everywhere. That's themed.
That's
isn't it?
not a Love Hotel though. It's just a dinosaur.
Oh, I smoked that dinosaur so hard.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I've been to a Love Hotel that did have dinosaurs in. It was rubbish, and I was very disappointed. There was no blow-up Jeff Goldblum doll, as I thought there might be. Very underwhelming. We've got one here from Hannah, who says, hello, Chris and Pete. My husband and I are finally realising our dream, and we'll visit Japan, for a month-long visit in September. Great time to visit, or so we thought. But when I told my Japanese teacher, he's from the south of Japan, about the upcoming trip, her first reaction was, "Oh no, oh God, you're going during typhoon season. Not a good idea. We're planning on going to Kanazawa, Hiroshima, Fukuoka, Kumamoto, but her warnings about the weather have made us quite worried. What's your advice, gentlemen? Should we change our plans and go to other parts of the country less affected by typhoons?" Grateful for any advice. All the best, Hannah from Sweden. This is 2 people from Sweden and the fax machine. What is this? Taking over.
Swedes are taking over. They've got
Swedish.
They've got 2 of the 3 seats in our parliament. In our email parliament.
I mean, I'd never let typhoon season get in the way of things because you don't know when it's coming, right? You don't know when it's going to be there. You know, last year, typhoon affected. It did cause problems. I think I couldn't get back from a shoot in Kyoto to Tokyo because of a typhoon that stopped the bullet train, and it also blew down the 3,000-year-old Yakisugi tree in Yakushima, which was a sad thing, and also 250,000 houses had no electricity. But with that in mind, I think it'll be all right. Like, yes, they come and go, but there'll only be like 1 or 2. It's cool at some point. As long as you don't get affected by it, it's kind of an interesting thing, seeing that kind of wind and rain. Part of the experience. You don't get that in Sweden.
It was something that I remember I visited during typhoon season, and like a few people that I spoke to who were Japanese, they were, you're right, they were really, really obsessed with typhoon season. It's like, well, you can't really, it blocks out quite a lot of the year if you worry about that sort of thing, one would suggest.
That's fun. Come and experience typhoons.
Yeah.
Hello, Chris P. I imagine you get a really interesting 360-degree view of Japan from following the news, answering listed questions, and visiting new corners of the country. Has your opinion of Japan changed much since you first started the podcast? Would love to hear from you both. Amanda from Arizona. Pete, has your opinion of Japan changed much?
My opinion of this question feels like Amanda is ChatGPT. I don't know why. She sounds very clever. She sounds very, very organised. Very organised. I've got an opinion of you. Do you have an opinion of Japan? It's very organised, Amanda from Arizona.
People from Arizona, they operate on another level, mate.
Very, very intelligent. Yeah, I mean, like, I think that since I started the podcast, I'm basically here to the chagrin of a lot of listeners, basically interview Chris about his time in Japan. I have been to Japan. I go to Japan quite a lot. I love Japan. And I just basically, as a sort of co-host of a show, just poke Chris. So, okay, Chris, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And also I do dick jokes. So that's
well,
what
you've been here a lot, too. You've
been
been around Japan. I think what's impressive is not so much how many times you've been to Japan, but that you've got to go to places that other people haven't and see the far-flung corners of the country and have your own.
Usually because you dragged me there.
And usually over some sake somewhere, which is cool. You know, I think most people I talk to, it's like, I've been to the King Kakuji Temple. I went to Kyoto. It's like, cool. It's like, come on, go and visit the Niigata Sake Brewery or go and see a weird island in Kyushu. Go and do those things. You know, have your own adventure like Pete. You should write a book. Donaldson special trip.
12 trips to Japan, spending thousands of pounds each time, like a big idiot. Oh dear! But I mean, cool. Since you kind of you've been here for such a long time, like I imagine you've kind of, it's not just a country; it is now and has been for the longest time your home, which is such a weird thing. I think you posted a picture of you on your last. On Instagram, I think you posted a picture of your last school assembly, I think.
Oh, yeah. My last
which
assembly.
That must have been quite an emotional kind of time, seeing that picture.
It was 10 years ago this week that I finished my job as a teacher, and I posted a photo from that moment, and I was in the school hall, the gymnasium, and I had to give a speech to 1,200 students in Japanese, which is fucking scary. But when I was doing it, it was so hot. It was 45 degrees Celsius in there. That, like, students were being carried out on stretchers because they were just, like, collapsing. And it was, like, the most bizarre situation ever. Like, I've done speeches in various places. I've done a TED Talk. But nothing was quite as enthralling or terrifying as watching people being carried out on stretchers from your own speech. It did feel very totalitarian. And I felt very powerful. But everyone was also asleep. It was so hot, nobody's actually listening to the speech.
Typhoon season.
Typhoon season. But my opinion of Japan hasn't really changed that much. I mean, it's good. I have a good opinion of Japan. It's a good country. It's a very good country. And there you go.
I mean, even at their kind of the the smashed up yen and wages and all that stuff. I mean, I guess you get paid in dollars, but I think the standard of living out there is just so much higher and more.
It's just it's nice to live in a country where people are mindful of other people.
Yes,
to some extent.
Yeah.
It can be quite stressful at times. Like if you just you're walking down the street in Tokyo and you stop on the pavement, the sidewalk for a moment to look at your phone and do something, you suddenly feel like you're inconveniencing 20 people, and it feels like a bit restless. There's a restlessness.
If you're kind of predisposed for worrying about your space in the world, which is something that I definitely do, you'll never catch me on the tube blocking traffic because I'm just so apologetic. I'm scared of my own shadow. I'm just I just get out of people's way all the time. I appreciate that in Japan. I appreciate I can be a conducive, member of a massive crowd in Japan, getting to where I need to be quickly and just staying out of everybody's way. So you'll never catch me getting shouted at or remonstrated with. Knocking people over, but I appreciate the quiet. I appreciate the respect. I think.
Well, you'd love it here. I mean, that's what Japan does well in that regard. But it's a great country, and I think we could borrow a lot of lessons from the best of Japan, take them overseas and whatnot. But we're not going to do that because that's not how the West works. Keep the stories, questions, comments coming in to abroadjapanpodcast@gmail.com or right away in the comments here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. For now, guys, have yourself a wonderful few days. We'll see you right back here to do it all over again on the Abroad Japan podcast. Bye for now. Have a good one.